But in the Old Testament of God's economy, before the scripture was actually written down for us and before it could be the example, God worked this way. And the basic gist of the dream is pretty simple. Joseph, you are going to rule over your brothers and your father. Now, think about this. Joseph is already being favored. Now, God reveals a sovereign choice of his. Part of the doctrine of election is God has different plans for each one of us, for us to do. For instance, why in the world does God have fit see me being pastor of a church, specifically this church? Because he chose to. Is there anything special in me? No. Sure. Maybe God gave me some spiritual gifts and some other things. Yeah, but they were his choice. It was his sovereign choice. It wasn't anything in me. There wasn't anything in me that deserves anything from God. Yet God saw fit to do so. And it was the same in the life of Joseph. But now you've got so you've got his brothers you got his dad that loves him in a way that favors him over his brothers. Then you've got his dad giving him a special gift that he's not giving anybody else. That was probably very expensive and costly, by the way. And the brothers hate him for it. Now Joseph has these dreams, and this is where Joseph probably could have maybe done so in a different way, or something. This text doesn't really elaborate that much. But what does he do? As a 17-year-old, again, the other brothers are older. I mean, most of them are men and with kids of their own. Hey, guess what, guys? I'm going to rule over you one day. I'm going to be your leader. Now, here's the brother that they already don't like. Here's the brother that the dad loves. Now he goes to him, guess what? One day I'm going to be your boss. If I would have done that one day, I can see if I'd have done that to my brother Mark or my brother Gordy, they would have had me down and they would have been pounding me over and over and over again. I got the scar. Is it on this side or this side? I got a little L-shaped scar on my head. That was from Mark and Matt, if I remember correctly, throwing me off the bunk bed when I was about 3. So I have those type of... I know what it's like to have those guys, much older siblings, and for me to be the younger punk one that... I remember the one time thinking that my brother Matt, that he wasn't strong because he was tall and skinny, and I can take him. And then I got backhanded by him one day and went across the room, and I realized that he is stronger. That's why I took up wrestling, and then I could beat them all, which was fun. But anyhow, Joseph was in that position. So now he has the dream, and then he tells his brothers, which probably wasn't the best of things to do, especially in the way he did. So what happens next? He tells his father, and his father rebuked him. He said, look, don't be doing this. Stop saying this. Or specifically, what does he say? What is the dream that you've dreamed? Shall your mother and I and your brothers indeed come and bow down before you? Don't be talking about this. Well, so the brothers envy him, but the father kept thinking about it. The brothers immediately rejected it, but Israel, Jacob, says, you know what? There might be something to this. Because he's already seen how God's worked in the past in his life. So we have Jacob's love, we have Joseph's dream, and thirdly, you have Judah, his scheme. Look at verse 12. The brothers, they went to feed the flock in Shechem, which we've already seen in the past, no time to go into again. And in verse 13, Israel, Jacob says, go find them. And up through verse 14, he tells them that. Now, if you would pick up the story at verse 18. Now when they saw him afar off, even before he came near, they conspired against him to kill him. He's 17 years old. These are his brothers. Then they said to one another, look at this dreamer is coming. Come therefore, let us now kill him and cast him into some pit, and we shall say some wild beast devoured him, and we shall see what becomes of this dream. Now that was Judah's scam. That was his thought. Well, Reuben decided to do something a little bit differently. Verse 21. And Reuben heard it. He delivered him out of the hands and said, let us not kill him. And Reuben said, shed no blood, but cast him into the pit which is in the wilderness, and do not lay a hand at him, that he might be delivered out of the hands and bring him back to his father. So it came to pass, when Joseph had come to his brothers, they stripped him of his tunic, the tunic of many colors that was on him. Then they took him and cast him into the pit, and the pit was empty, and there was no water in it.